Hey guys, what's up? So these are some of the most hidden gem movies that I think they're hidden gem because I love these fantasy movies. And they're sort of fantasy, they might not be exactly fantasy, they're not all like medieval fantasy, that kind of fantasy, but they all like are sort of that fantasy fiction kind of movie thing happening. And and these I think they're hidden gem just because they're really good and not a lot of people have heard of them. And it's just not anything people talk about. Yes, there's a following, there's Facebook groups that follow that, there's fan pages that follow it, but it's not mainstream. And what's interesting is that like a lot of people have never heard of these movies at all. So I'm just gonna like talk about a few of them, and I think they're all pretty amazing. There's a few of these that I want to talk about. So here's one. This is an amazing movie. It came out in the 80s. This is called Cat People. And it's got Nastassja Kinski and Malcolm McDowell. Yes, Malcolm McDowell, who played in Clockwork Orange, right? He was Alec in Clockwork Orange, and he plays the character here. He's a little bit older, but he's still cool, and he's got a really cool role that he plays. He's really good in this, and Nastassja Kinski blows it away. She's so hot, and she's just the perfect Catwoman kind of thing. What's it about? Basically, I say it's fantasy because it's got a fantasy trope where it's basically she's part of these people that turn into cats, like not just cats, they turn into like leopard cats and panther cats, those big freaking cats. And the whole story is about that. So basically, it's not a werewolf, but it's more like a werecat, a lycanthrope. Lycanthropes are basically people that turn into animals, and they turn into leopards. Amazing movie, really good, original, great to watch. No one's heard of it. It came out in the 80s, and it was on HBO, I remember in the 80s, and that's because it wasn't like, maybe it was in the theater, but I didn't see it in the theater. I haven't heard of it anywhere. It just came out in HBO. HBO usually plays movies that were in the theater like 6 months before, and then they go on HBO right after they go on, like you could rent it at a video store. But no, not with this one. It came out of nowhere. It's amazing. It's sexy. It's sensual. And Nastassja Kinski is great in this movie. I don't want to say any more about it. Anything more here. These are the two characters that played. Malcolm McDowell, Nastassja Kinski. I don't want to say anything more about it. And the disc is like this cool red disc with the, at least there's some kind of a design on the disc, which is cool. I don't want to say any more about this because it's good just to watch this as a complete surprise. You're going to really like this movie. The next movie is another one, great, amazing movie, and a lot of people haven't heard of it. Some people heard of it, a lot of people haven't, and this is called Angel Heart. And Angel Heart has, what's his name, Mickey Rourke. But Mickey Rourke from the 80s, not Mickey Rourke now. Mickey Rourke looks a lot different. Like in The Wrestler, he played in The Wrestler. I think he played in Sin City. I think that was him playing that guy in Sin City. Mickey Rourke, man. He looked a lot different. Mickey Rourke was in it. Lisa Bonet is in it. Robert De Niro is in it, okay? And yeah, basically, there's nothing I can say about this movie except it's amazing. You have to watch it. Without any spoilers, of course, obviously, because there's no spoilers. What's this movie all about? Basically, it's this guy. He's a private detective or whatever. He gets hired by this dude who is most likely the devil to investigate somebody who's been dodging him. Like, there's a devil who's been he's been dodging the devil, and this devil hires Mickey Rourke to find this guy. So he goes all the way. And this guy's called Johnny Favorite is the name of the character, right? And he goes all the way into the French Quarter in, what was it, like in the middle America where everyone's French, and like it's and it was just a lot of like there's a lot of like occult. There's a lot of voodoo in it. New Orleans is where they go, and it does a lot of voodoo in it, and there's a lot of occult. And there's crazy shit happening, and it's all mysterious, and like everywhere he goes, people are being murdered, and he doesn't know why, and people are trying to like investigate this, and it's just weird. And he's after this thing, and he doesn't know why. He's just doing this job for this guy who's probably the devil because his name is Louis Cypher, So that's probably the devil, and but that's not what the movie's about, and that's just what happens in the movie. It is so cool. It is so amazing if you like weird, occult, supernatural fantasy with a little bit of thriller. I'm not gonna say it's horror. It's not horror. Horror is like Nightmare on Elm Street is horror. Friday the 13th is horror. Halloween is horror. You know, this is not horror. This is a thriller movie. It's definitely got horror elements in it. It's not really scary. There's no ghosts or, you know, but it's fantasy. It's the occult. It's a supernatural. It's really, really good. I don't know anyone who's watched this movie and didn't like it. Amazing movie. Here's another one, and I don't know if you have heard of this one, but this is Wes Craven's Serpent and the Rainbow. And yeah, and the guy that did the, it says Bill Pullman, which I don't, yeah, Bill Pullman, I don't, you'll know when you see this guy. He's a pretty popular actor. This is also from the 80s, and basically he is hired to go to Haiti and investigate how the substance that they use to turn people into zombies, for whatever reason. I guess they want to find what keeps people alive and how to, you know, they're looking into longevity. Whatever their reason is, it's not really part of the movie. It's not the interesting part of the movie. The interesting part of the movie is that he goes to Haiti and he meets witch doctors, and frickin' he meets people who are basically voodoo priests who make people into zombies to do their bidding for them, and the whole thing, what's going on with that. And there's a lot of the story is just like him in that adventure, and they're after him. They don't want him there. They see he's investigating this stuff. They want to keep their mysteries or secret, you know. And it's just a roller coaster ride of an adventure movie with, you know, occult elements, voodoo, the supernatural, zombies, people actually making zombies from people and stuff like that, and like voodoo ceremonies and shit that's going on. Great movie from start to finish. It is a little, it's not scary, like it's a little bit, you could say it's a thriller. I wouldn't call it a horror movie. It's got some horror elements in it though. But it's not like scary. It's not one of those scary like ghost movies with like The Sixth Sense or something like that where it's really scary. You get frightened when you watch it, you know? Not so much with this one. It's more of the supernatural, the occult, the mysterious, voodoo priests, and the whole place takes place in Haiti, which is like not a place that a lot of people go to unless you're from Haiti and then you know about that place. It's not a lot of, you know, people go to Haiti, you know, but he does because he's investigating the substance that makes people into zombies, you know. This one is really good. Another hidden gem, also from the 80s. Saw it in the theater. This was a great movie. And this is The Last Starfighter. And this is a sci-fi movie where, you know, sci-fi is fantasy to me. I think sci-fi and fantasy are the same thing. You know, just like, this is basically fantasy because it's about space, it's about other planets. This kid, he is playing a video game, and like not a console, like an arcade video game from the 80s, because that's what they had back then. He plays the video game, and it's about, you know, he's the spaceship that's fighting other spaceships, and then he beats the game, and this alien comes from space. A very, very popular actor. He comes from space, and he's like, he basically recruits him to fight in the galactic force against this other planet who's trying to take over the universe. Amazing stuff. It's one of the first, or the first movie to really have CGI graphics, you know, special effects, because before then it was all practical, and this one had really cool CGI special effects. And it's just, the ships are cool, and the whole story's cool. It's a lot of fun to watch. Everyone who watched it really liked it, but a lot of people haven't heard about it. So those are some of the great hidden gems. Let me know if you ever saw these movies, or if you want to see these movies and you're looking forward to it, or you should definitely check these out. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video later.